At the Track is brought to you by Olin Breweries and the Maritime Harness Racing Track Operators.
This afternoon, we have two feature races, including the Atlantic Sire Stakes from Champlain Raceway in Dieppe on Tuesday night. That saw a maritime record set for maritime-bred two-year-old pacers. Also an interview with one of the big names in harness racing, Bea Farber, the Queen Bee, the top female driver in the world. She was at Fredericton Raceway during their exhibition week. Also, Stan Bergstein is with us again this afternoon. Stan will talk to you all about preparation of a horse following a race. Once again, we'll have our racing recap and other features. But first to Fredericton Raceway, where it was exhibition week last week, and one of the big features was the Bill Quigg Memorial. Here's Rick Grant with the story of the Bill Quigg race.
It was a slow track Saturday night, but a good-sized crowd turned out. The first half of the Bill Quigg Memorial was run in the sixth race. A half dozen horses were entered. Hidden Intentions drew the pole position. It's owned by Sean McIsaac of Cornwall PEI and Ewan Taylor of Hunter River. The driver was Phil Pinckey. Number 2, BBN, owned by Heath Ellis and Orville Diamond of Charlottetown and driven by Wally Dalazeel. Number 3, Kilkerran Derby, owners Burton Cormier of Cocan, New Brunswick, and Barbara Hennessy of St. John. Jody Hennessy, driver. Number 4, P.H. Liz, owned by Jim Shive of Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia, and driven by Dave Pinckey. Number 5, Balmaggie Breeze, owners Charles and Linda Seymour of Fredericton, Steve Mahar, driver. And Tom Woodlawley, owners CMR Stables of Moncton, driver Mike Downey. We pick up the race with track announcer Gerald Bishop.
Here they come. They're off, and as they leave the wire, it's BBN in along the rail as they race for that turn. Kilkerran Derby up 2 on the outside, going 3 wide. PH Liz in the turn. Tom Woodlawley moves up to B4. Paul McGee Breeze is in 5. Hidden Intentions trails as they head up the backstretch for the quarter. It's a Kilkerran Derby with that lead. P.H. Liz is 2 on the outside. BBN now back 2 along the rail. P.H. Liz is 3 on the outside with Tom Woodlawley in 4 along the rail. Paul McGee Breeze 5. Hidden Intentions trails into the barn turn first time round. They were by the quarter 29 and 4. It's Kilkerran Derby with that lead off the 3/8 heading for the half. BBN is in 2. P.H. Liz 3 on the outside. Tom Woodlawley is in 4. Paul McGee Breeze is 5. Hidden Intentions 6 as they come down the stretch for the half. At the half, it's Kilkerran Derby with that lead. BBN is in 2 along the rail. P.H. Liz still parked 3 on the outside with Tom Woodlawley in 4. Paul McGee Breeze is 5 and Hidden Intentions 6. They were by the half 101 and 2. Heading up the backstretch for the 3/4. It's Kilkerran Derby with that lead. BBN is in 2. P.H. Liz 3 on the outside. Tom Woodlawley in 4. Paul McGee Breeze on the move 5. Hidden Intentions trails by that 3/4. It's still Kilkerran Derby with that lead. BBN in 2, P.H. Liz is 3 on the outside. Paul McGee Breeze on the move now, 4 on the outside. Tom Woodlawley is 5. Hidden Intentions 6. 3/4 133. Off the 7/8 heading for home. It's Kilkerran Derby. P.H. Liz, BBN up on the outside. Paul McGee Breeze as they come for the wire. It's going to be Paul McGee Breeze, and here they are.
Steve Mahar drove Balmaggie Breeze to the finish line in 2:03 and 4.
He was a little bit hot going to the gate. I was just, concerned about getting away and keeping him cool like the first part of the mile. Didn't want to get him hot and worked up and using his energy up too early. So.
P.H. Liz was second. BBN came in third. The other finishers were Kilkerran Derby, 4, Tom Woodlawley, 5th, and Hidden Intentions was last. Mahar not only took the $6,347 sixth race purse, but also the 9th. It was a faster race than the 6th, P.H. Collin came in at 2:02 and 3. In Fredericton, Rick Grant at the track.
Well, once again, a busy week around the Maritimes, especially at Fredericton Raceway for their exhibition. Maple Leaf Bramble in 2:03, one of the quickest miles of all time for a trotter in the Maritimes. Tidy Point in 2:01 and 3, and Joe won the Frex Special in 2:02 and 3. At Champlain Raceway, Jig Time Buddy 1:59 and 3. That is a new record for that horse, and the first sub-2-minute mile for driver Barry Fagan. Over to Truro, 3 quick miles. Bay River Chip is back at the races. He took a new record of 2:01. Jeremy's Boy 2:02 and 3, and Moorland's JJ in 2:02 and 4. At Charlottetown, once again, Laser was a winner. This time it was in 2:03 and 3, and Glengall Meteor in 2:03 and 4. This is not a race, but an interesting mile, a qualifier. The trotter Barron Bay qualifies in 2:04. Top drivers for the week at Fredericton during exhibition week. Driving triples for Ivan Davies. He had 2 of them, and Steve Mahar with 1. Doubles again for Mahar. Also Brian Moore and Mike Campbell. Over to Charlottetown, driving doubles for Danny Gass and Len Walsh. At Champlain Raceway, there were driving triples for Dave Carey and Danny Romo, and a driving double for Barry Fagan. At Truro, driving doubles for Bruce McLean, Donnie Ellis, Claire McDonald, Bernie McCollum, and Keith Doyle. We're pleased to have with us this afternoon Mr. John Bro. John is the chairman of the Race Against MS Committee, and that big night coming up at Champlain Raceway, September 20th, that is 1 week from tonight. And John, a very impressive prize list for that night.
That's right, Howie. The corporate community in Moncton's been very good to us and the MS Society. We have as our major trip or prize this year a trip for 2 to Barbados, which was donated by Air Canada and Johnstone Travel. And a special thanks to Barry Rudd and Kathy Tuck on behalf of that. It's been a real help to us. We have 10 other wonderful prizes that range from gas barbecue, home security system, microwave oven, cash of $300 plus vouchers for $250 from various outlets in the city, clothes, Sounds Fantastic, paint, that type of thing. A bicycle from Sumner Tire. Real good prize list.
John, how exactly does the evening work at Champlain Raceway that night, and how is it set up to get the prizes? How do you get in the track?
Well, we've started off, we're going to sell tickets. It's $2 that night. We're going to ask the track to forego all passes and everything. Everybody will pay $2 to get a ticket like so, and that enables you to get into the racetrack. That's your admission in. Plus, it also enables you a chance to win one of these fantastic prizes.
John, this is not a new thing, a Race Against MS. It's been going on for a few years. A little bit of the history.
In 1978, the horsemen across Canada decided to make MS their charity. So they've, every year we have each track in Canada designates a night for MS, and we raise money for that society.
Now, I understand last year that this track led the Maritimes with something like $9,600. What's it look like right now for this year?
That is correct. We led the Maritimes last year. This year we got a little more ambitious. We've set our goal at $15,000, and hopefully we're going to make it.
John, that is a very ambitious goal of $15,000. How does it stand at this time? Are you able to come up with a figure right now?
Right now, I would say we're handy $12,000 that we've raised right now, and we're hoping to get a lot of support from the Halifax people. We get a lot of them here now that Sackville Downs is closed, and they are major contributors to the Race Against MS. So.
Well, that's good. I hope everything is a success, John, and a special post time that night is 7 o'clock. More at the track in a moment's time. Double-gated horse of all times. He trotted in 1:59 and 2 in 1977, and then paced in 1:55 and 4 in 1980. The youngest driver ever to handle a horse under 2 minutes is Alma Shepherd. She was 12 when she time trialed Dean Hanover in 1:58 1/5. That was way back in 1937. The fastest winning time by a trotter in the Maritimes is 2:02. That was Colgan's Comet in Charlottetown in 1983. Nia Tross with 9 is the pacer who has won more $100,000 races in a season than any other horse. The record for a trotter is 6, set by Chiola Hanover. Well, Atlantic Sire Stakes action from Champlain Raceway on Tuesday night produced a Maritime Stakes track personal record. Here's a look at it.
For race number 11, 1:59 3 for one Angel's Shadow. Now at trackside, presenting the Gold Cup and Saucer trial number 2.
They go to the backstretch.
They're off. PH Steve takes the lead up on the outside. Overnight Storm is on the move. Buckaroo on the outside. Racing 2 as they swing for the turn. Overnight Storm has the lead as they swing into the turn. Buckaroo racing into Yuta Smoky. Third and moving on the outside. In along the rail, Pine Way Cadet is fourth. Red Wing moving 5. PH Steve racing in 6. They swing round the paddock turn now for the opening quarter. Go on by the quarter. 28 3/5 seconds off the turn. Down the stretch in front of the stand for the first time. Yuta Smoky on the outside with the lead on the inside. Racing into Overnight Storm. Buckaroo moving 3. Racing in 4. Pine Way Cadet moving 5. Red Wing racing in 6. It's PH Steve. They go to the turn. Capillon 7th. Race into the turn. Dalton Cap moving 8. Charlotte's Night racing 9. Tracy Star as they wing round the turn, go on by the half. 59 1/5 seconds. They're on the backstretch for the final time. Yuta Smoky out in front. Overnight Storm racing into Buckaroo moving 3. PhD 4th moves on the outside. In along the rail, Pine Way Cadet 6. Capillon 7 on the outside. Dalton Camp on the outside racing in 8. Red Wing 9 as they swing into the turn. Charlotte's Night, they race on by the 3/4 mile marker. 1:29 2. Yuta Smoky out in front. Overnight Storm second by a length and a half and now starts to move. Buckaroo racing in 3. They're round the turn for the final time. Yuta Smoky, Overnight Storm to the outside by the 7/8. They drive on home. Yuta Smoky is out in front. Overnight Storm and on the inside. Buckaroo up on the outside and closing as they race to the wire. Here comes Overnight Storm. It's going to be Overnight Storm 1:59 3.
Well, just a super mile and a landmark for Maritime Harness Racing. Overnight Storm, a 2-year-old son of Knightley Blue Chip from Port Storm, and was bred by Alfred Mueller's ranch near Sussex. Those fractions once again, 28 3, 59 1, 129 2, and again the mile 1:59 3. Overnight Storm, driven by Earl Smith and is co-owned by Bert Heyman of Kensington, Prince Edward Island, and John Miller of Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Second was Yuta Smoky. Buckaroo finishing third. Pine Way Cadet was 4th. Red Wing was 5th in that race. Dalton Camp 6th. Charlotte's Night 7th. 8th was P.H. Steve. Finishing 9th, Capillon. 10th was Denacton Major. And 11th was Tracy Star. There was a B Division on the program as well, and that B Division race went to BBA Fashion, owned by Leonard Boucher of Moncton and Cleo Bash-Trash of St. Anne, with Morris Roy in the bike. That mile in 2:05 2/5 equaled the lifetime record for BBA Fashion. They went for a purse of approximately $1,600. Well, harness racing does not end after the horse has been paraded, the pictures have been taken, and the prices have been paid. There's more to it behind the scenes after the races. Stan Bergstein is back, and he tells that story.
The glamour side of racing is on the racetrack, and from the grandstand or the clubhouse, it appears that it's a pleasant chore from start to finish. There is work involved with racing, a lot of work, and a lot of hard, laborious, and repetitive work. And much of it takes place after the race is over. Christine Pfeiffer is part of a racing family. Her father, her uncle, her cousins are all in the racing business. Christine takes care of the 3-year-old pacer, Flashy Devil. And it is fun to take care of a horse. It is also work to do it. And after the race is over, much of Christine's work just begins. Chris meets her colt, which is trained and driven by her father, at the edge of the track just after his race. She unchecks him and leads him back to a wash-up stall in the paddock. Once there, she must remove all of the pacer's equipment. And when that is done, Flashy Devil gets a bath. Chris, watch my eyes with that soapy water. If the devil doesn't enjoy this, he has to be a foolish devil. The bugle? Not me. I've already raced. Once the bath is over, a rinse job. And after the rinse, a scraping to remove the excess water. Then a cooler blanket, so named because it is used on the horse while he is cooling out. Before the devil cools out, however, he will get a bracing liniment on his stifle and watch the devil dance. Then to the walking ring for 30 minutes or so of walking while his respiration returns to normal before he leaves the paddock. The walk is interrupted now and then for a sip of water, while Chris's dad washes up the equipment following the muddy evening of racing. The devil is then dressed for the trip home to the Pfeiffer farm, which in this case is 1 hour and 15 minutes from the racetrack. A comforting pat before the doors are closed on the trailer, and the trip is started. Off they go, headed home, with an early morning of training ahead.
The top woman driver in North America is Bea Farber, and that lady was at Fredericton Raceway on Thursday of last week for Exhibition Week. Here's the story of Bea Farber.
Bea Farber spends most of her time in Chicago at Sportsman's Park, but recently she has been touring North America. Her first visit to the Maritime started here at Fredericton Exhibition Raceway. Many in the crowd of more than 9,000 were Farber fans, wearing I'm for Bea buttons. She was given a royal welcome early in the evening as the world's #1 female driver toured the track first by car and then in 8 out of 10 races on the September 4th card. Farber's harness racing success story begins 17 years ago.
I bought a riding horse from my niece, and it was a standard bred. And I ran into some people that had harness horses, and they said, well, why don't you see if you can't get him to the races? And so they trained him for me, and I couldn't afford an outside trainer on a secretary's salary. Pretty soon I started training him. One horse led to another. Now I think I've got 80 in my stable.
She won that first race in Bay City, Michigan. It was only the first of more than 1,500 or so wins. Since that lucky day in 1970, she's learned many tricks of the trade. But she admires the enthusiasm of the new generation of drivers.
Though, I don't have that something that you have when you're starting out and you're very young. Let's face it, I'm getting older. But, and I see it in the kids, that eagerness to win, that driving, I'll get out and push sort of a feeling that a young person has. And we make up for it with the experience, but they have it for that tremendous drive that they give to a horse.
Bea says even since her beginning days in harness racing, being a woman in a man's harness racing world was not a problem.
I did have probably my first half a dozen races. I would say that maybe I was being watched, but no more than every new driver is watched. Maybe the little track where I started, Jackson, Michigan, and then that same year I went to Edmonton and Calgary, and I wasn't treated like a woman driver. Right off the bat, I started doing good, and I was respected right right away.
And she was respected right away by Fredericton fans on the night of September 4th, driving local horses in 8 of 10 races. She came in 3rd in the 2nd race, riding number 1, Brighton Willie. Race 3 was one of her best with number 4, Yankee Sealster. She took the lead start to finish. In the 5th dash, she placed only 5th with number 5, Brighton Toot. Billy's Flirt did a little better, taking Farber to position 4 in the 6th race of the evening. In race 7, driving P.H. Allen, Bea was in 1st place at the halfway mark, but slipped back quickly, ending in 4th. It was 4th place once more for Bea in the 8th race, this time with Colin Sealster, horse number 6. Through most of race 9, it looked as though the poor placing streak of the world's best female driver would continue, with horse 5, Remshag Amanda. But in the last few seconds, Farber pulled through. We pick up race 9 as they come on the home stretch.
For the whites, Remshag Amanda, Precious Windy, and here we are.
Harmony Greenwood in the 10th race ran Bea Farber into 5th position in a 7-horse race. It was the end of a busy schedule for any driver, but after thousands upon thousands of run around the track since 1970, Bea Farber is now thinking of slowing down and making way for the new generation of drivers.
I really think I just want to more or less gear down, do some good training on some nice horses, and I don't know, I was just saying today, I would really like to be able to take time, go around the country with about 6 horses, and just more or less vacation as I race.
In Fredericton, this is Andy LeBlanc at the track.
Well, coming up in racing next week and tonight at Champlain Raceway, a $3,000 feature. Next Saturday, the race against MS. At Truro, the feature tomorrow, the Rothman Sire Stakes for 3-year-old trotters. They go for $7,800. That will be our feature race next week. At Fredericton, they're racing on Thursday nights for the balance of the season. Over to Charlottetown, PEI Colt Stakes on Thursday night, more than $50,000 in purse money. The Trot Fest on Saturday afternoon, all trotters in action on that program. Post time is 2 o'clock. Racing again on Saturday night at 7:30. The select yearling sale of Pacers goes Friday at 6 o'clock at Charlottetown. Sale of trotters Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Special guest will be our own Stan Bergstein and also Del Miller. Until next Saturday, I'm Howie Trainer at the track.
At the Track has been brought to you by the Maritime Harness Racing Track Operators and Olin Breweries.